the locker room wasn't really talking about Trey Lance much earlier in the season. It was all about rallying behind Jimmy Garoppolo. But recently, Fred Warner, on multiple occasions, has gone. Well, first of all, he just kind of a couple of weeks ago just threw out there after a game, after the Falcons game, that Trey Lance has been tearing it up in practice for weeks. Then Kyle Shanahan says it on Monday. He's been really good 4 weeks in a row. Then asked again today, Fred Warner went on and on. He said, well, the difference is his confidence. I mean, earlier in the season, he was kind of really worried about throwing picks and he was scrambling a lot in practice. And he's like, that's why we sucked so much, essentially, like it's defending deep passes because he wasn't throwing them. And now he is. And he's throwing passes that people are essentially like, oohing and on over and dropping their jaw over. I mean, it's Fred. He's not just going to say that. He's not just, he wants to, he's usually right when he says stuff. Anyway, that's what he said. And Lake and Tomlinson actually went off about him too. Can you explain, what do you think about this reaction?
Well, what I find interesting is the first time Fred Warner talked about it, he was actually asked about Jimmy Garoppolo. He wasn't even asked about Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I want to make sure like Trey Lance is just killing it in practice. He's tearing it up. Yeah, Jimmy's our guy, but Trey Lance is playing really good, right? Lake and Tomlinson came out, I think it was on yesterday, and says that, give you the whole quote, I was extremely impressed with the couple of games that he got to play early in the year. Just the way he handled his business and went out there and operated the offense. A lot of guys are excited for him, what he can do with this offense. He's taken every day and he's getting better. He's getting coached up, a real coachable guy, and we love to see it. We love to see it, especially a guy that young doing all those different things. It's very exciting. So here's my takeaway. This all started about 2 weeks ago. There was not a peep from anybody in the organization. Do you remember early on, Grant, when a lot of people asked Shanahan, when will you know it's time? When will you know it's time to play Trey Lance? And he said, you'll just know.
Yeah.
I think this is what he meant.
Right.
This is what I think he meant.
You start hearing like team leaders trumpet it, not just him. He's not forcing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think everybody on the team is starting to take notice. Yeah. Wow, this kid is going to be really good. Whether it's now or the end of the year, next year, whatever, this kid is our future. We all see it now. We're all behind the mission. We all believe in this kid. And so to me, that's even more of a reason why you take this opportunity and you make that change if you can, because everybody is behind this kid, it seems. So I think
maybe not George Kittle, maybe not everybody,
maybe,
but more and more. Yep. Absolutely. I mean, Lake and Tomlinson and Fred Warner are team leaders. They are. Fred Warner is maybe the team leader.
Yep.
And for him to speak this candidly and specifically about what Trey Lance is doing means that this team seems to believe in him. Otherwise, they'd be like, yeah, he's working hard. He's coming along. They would be real generic and vague, but no. He was like, he was not doing it right earlier in the year. He was too worried about making a mistake, and it was hurting our defense. And now he's helping our defense. He is quite a challenge every week, is essentially what he's saying. Like, this guy is, I mean, it's basically saying better than our story. I mean, thank goodness we get to face this guy every week is basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Cool. He's making us better. Iron sharpens iron. Like, that's what I'm hearing. And I also love that, and Fred Warner got into that a little bit deeper in a recent interview and then said it again today, I believe, where the moment that it clicked for Trey Lance was the moment that he just told him, hey, this is your time to make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect out here. And at that moment, that's when he saw a change in Trey Lance.
Yeah.
That right there, Fred, is leadership. That is an offensive player. You're a defensive player, but you're a leader of this team. And so to go to that kid and tell him, hey, we know you have talent. It's okay to make mistakes. Do it. Here's your time. That opened up the offense for him. That's incredible. I love to hear that stuff.
That Niner guy says Kyle gave a very good response to that question. He is actually acting like a head coach, letting Trey focus on what he can control. Yeah, no, I get it. And my dad even said like he would do the same thing and he understands it.
Yep.
I just think they're breaking rules, but I totally get it. And like it's unfair for Trey to have to bear the brunt of those questions because it's Kyle's problem. Like Kyle set it up. And Trey's a kid. He's 21. So really you should protect him. You should try to protect him. I'm watching a lot of Friday Night Lights right now, and that coach would be protecting Smash Williams and Tim Riggins and all of them. Those are just kids.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you need to protect them.
Did you get a Southern draw all of a sudden? Where'd
Yeah,
that come from?
I've been watching a lot of that Texas
You're gonna
football, and I
spit
like it
into
a
a
lot.
platoon and eat some hay?
That's
Like,
right.
what's going on?
Ryan 308 says, "Love the show, Grant. Been watching for a while. Thank you. All I wanted to say is, if I had a choice, you should be GM of the San Francisco 49ers. Time for Trey. I appreciate
Do
it.
you want that job? I mean, that's a stressful
That's a lot
job,
of
right?
pressure, man. The problem with that job is you get fired after like 2 years. This job, I don't think I can get fired from YouTube, but I'll
You
take it.
could.
I think for the for the 49ers, I'll take it. How could I couldn't? I mean, I'm just as qualified as Big John. Kless says, "How did Trey look today? How were his touch passes and spirals? You guys rule." Here's the one thing I want to say. I like Trey very much, but the one thing that concerns me a little bit is you watch him warming up, no pressure. 1 out of 10 throws will be off, like off. And like, man, it, he he needs to be a top 5 quarterback to justify this trade. And Justin Herbert's a top 5 quarterback. And I've seen Justin Herbert warm up. He doesn't miss. You miss when you're under pressure. As a quarterback, a professional quarterback, you shouldn't miss. And he's still really young. And Josh Allen improved his accuracy. People do improve their accuracy. But that's the one. And we talked about it before the draft. Like his one question is accuracy. Can you improve that? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. If he can, then he's going to be worth $1 billion. If he can't, he won't get a second contract. We'll see.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be fine. As far as the spirals or is he throwing soft passes, that's just I don't think he's gonna learn that this season. I think that's something that as he gets comfortable and seeing the defense, that's going to come naturally. He's just gonna play from comfort. But he has a rocket arm. Like he uses
He
it.
does.
Even I talked about the tweet earlier where he's doing the charity thing. You watch that video, he's throwing darts everywhere. Like every throw is as hard as it can be. I think that he just naturally throws really hard. And even if he takes some off, it's still harder than most quarterbacks, right? So I think that's something that he's just going to have to work through as he gets comfortable.
R, thank you for $5. I don't want to hear it. McBain says that Brandon Ayuk punt in the end zone after scoring a touchdown says a lot about the frustrations of Jimmy in that locker room. Is that how you saw it?
No, I think it was frustration in that game,
Yeah.
right? They're looking at it going, "What the hell happened? We were up 10-0. We should have been up 21-0.
How did it get to
Now
this
we're in a
moment? Yeah.
situation where we had to tie it and they get the ball." I think it was just that type of frustration.
Wesley says Trey is physically built better than any quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. I agree with that. The possibilities are extremely exciting. I agree with that. And again, if he can dial in his accuracy, he'll be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's a tough thing to do. Josh Allen did it. We'll see. It's
Yeah,
tough.
it's gonna take time. It's going to
Yeah.
take time, and we'll talk about expectations and whatnot, but I feel like people have got to temper them a little bit.
Evan says, I will accept our fate with Trey. I'd rather lose out with Trey than watch Jimmy play quarterback for this team anymore. I'm so sick of how he limits this offense.
Yeah, I mean that's where it's at, right? And it's
It's been half a
frustrating,
decade of watching this dude throw the same
right?
pass over the middle. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah.
I've had enough.
Yeah, it's about making investments for the future. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Your future self, Shanahan, will thank you for playing Trey Lance today. I promise you.